provisioning activity. So how you are going to debug that provisioning failure? Provide regarding the vulnerabilities in the from the SailPoint. So I think you worked in the various projects, right? Okay, what they ask, what support do you provide regarding a vulnerability from the SailPoint? What is vulnerability? Schema is there. In the approval schema is there. There is approval, there is a variable called approval schema is there. That approval in the schema, if you specify none, what will be happening? If you specify in workflow, we need not to take that headache. Next question. In production support, normally this point will come. How do you update an entire element? How do you update provisioning activity? So how you are going to debug that provisioning failures? That is the what is the resource object in the custom object? What is the custom? Okay. What is the use of what is resource object in the custom object? Question they ask me. Next, how many task servers and UI servers are present in the how many task servers and UI servers are present in the SailPoint? So answer is, suppose what I answered different way, but I wanted, okay, I want to have a structured way to explanation. Suppose if provisioning got provisioning is getting birth rate provisioning got failure. How do you check if a birth rate provisioning failed? How you are going to debug? So first thing is you can check in the IdentityIQ task result. You can go to the SailPoint normal mode and go to the task results, and what are the okay, you can go to the task results and you can find the task names. Once you find the task names, okay, you can open the task and you can see why the task is getting failure. Why the task is getting failure, you can see that. That is one option. Okay, you can go to, you can do your own system only. Okay, and that is one thing. And one more is in SailPoint administrative console, you can find provisioning section in SailPoint only. In global settings, click, you can do that along with me. You can do that. You can go to the SailPoint and right side you can find the global settings. Click on the global settings and you can find administrative console, administrator console. And once and once you get this administrator console, you can find provisioning section, provisioning transaction section, provisioning transaction section. In the provisioning transaction section, you can find provisioning transaction. There you can see the failures. I hope you have followed me and done it. Okay. Next, and what other places you can check? What you can do, you can go to the SailPoint once you logged in and you can find the user. Once you can do that along with me. Okay, once you're done, pick up one user. There will be IdentityIQ. You can see that event section. In event section, you can see lifecycle status. In the lifecycle status, whether you can see that whether any role got assigned, okay, any role got removed, and those are the things you can check. Okay, and one more is task results place. You can also see that task results place. You can see that. And so answer is, you can say that creation rule and build map rule, customization rule. Though you are working for support, Okay, and I mentioned here, you can repeat them. So how do you check? How do you check server health? How do you check server health? Can you please tell me?
By going to admin console,
Okay,
where you will have environment as a
okay,
tab.
correct, correct, very good,
So in that you will see the status of which server
correct,
is working, which is up, which is down,
correct.
what's its uh, not speed, but some other parameters. I don't remember exactly.
Okay, you can go to the administrator console. There you can find server status. Where what is the servers? Whether it is CPU status. Nowadays it is provided. So you can find that is one place. And along this, what you can do, you can go to the application server logs. So wherever, suppose you are working in the Tomcat is your server, and you can go to the configured SailPoint logs, and you can see that place. So is there any errors? Are you getting it? And I have a more answers points to tell, but crisply I'm telling answers to you. And the next one is you can open the debug mode. That is one approach. Okay, second approach is you can open the debug mode. In the debug mode, you can go to the memory section, and you can see that what is the memory it is there. Okay, what is the memory, what is the queue, what is the status of this thing, and all you can observe that. Next, one point I wanted to talk here. Next question. How frequently are you checking critical task in the sale point?
Uh, every day it will be like 2 to 3 times whenever the shift changes, or every 8 hours it will be checked.
Okay, and something if you want me to say professional way, I will. You can say this thing. We do have SOPs. Now you can ask me what is SOPs. So I'm just giving 1 minute time. You can type in the chat if you know already SOP. What is SOP? You can type. So what is SOP? So you can, okay. SOP means standard operating procedures document. If you join any production support jobs, they will be creating some documents. They will give you documents. So every project they will say that, hey, this is the things our team is supposed to do it and all. So why this name comes and all, if you ask me, I can tell you different video. But standard operation procedure. Recently, I joined one job that I was doing something. He was asking me, "Hey, did you refer the SOPs?" SOP means standard operation procedure. They are going to specify this is the thing, this is the things and all. Now you can say that normally they will mention if a new releases comes, they will be specifying the in SOPs what jobs we need to verify, that points I need to be considered. And normally, whenever the shift changes, we do check. Next one. Next question I'm asking. How did how do you debug if account aggregation failed? How do you debug if account aggregation failed?
We can go and check the aggregation task results.
Correct. Very simple answer. Next. So the question is, how did you debug? How did you debug if aggregation task is failed? So the answer, what I can say, suppose aggregation has failed. So as you said, in the task result, you can see that you can open the task result. You can follow with me. Any aggregate task, you go there and you can see that when you run this thing, if in case it's failed, if file is not found, then it will say that file is having issue. Then you need to open the file and see that what exactly it is caused. And if it is a JDBC application, Sometimes if it is a connectivity issue, then it will say that connectivity issue. So this is the place you can go to the aggregate task and you can see this thing, task result place, you can check. And along this, always any project in the application logs, you can find application logs, you can find why it is caused. In case of if you are using is a Tomcat will be having SailPoint specific log is that you have to open and see that. Okay, there will be different kind of logs. I don't want to prolong. I wanted to talk only point to point of the question answer. So, what is the use of a performance maintenance task in the SailPoint? What is the use of performance maintenance task in SailPoint? So, I'm just giving 1 minute, okay? And consider this is a mock interview for you. Try to answer. Okay, I'm answering. So, performance maintenance task, please remember this thing, okay? And performance maintenance task, when you are running this thing, it is going to be okay. Clean up the old identities, and it is going to be, see, it is a prone the identity snapshots here. I mean, a prone the identity snapshots. Task the proning means deleting. Prone the identity task snapshots. What is the identity snapshot? I'll talk later. And task results, certifications, and other background operations and all. And sometimes it helps us to move these certifications and account requests to move into the finished status.
Does it manages the orphaned work items also?
Does it, can you repeat?
Does it delete or manage the orphaned work items?
No, it won't delete it. As per my knowledge, it won't delete it.
It's not deleting, it's managing.
So I am not sure. So I have to refer the document.
Yeah, it handles the management of orphan work items also.
Actually, I don't just believe they provide regarding the vulnerabilities in the from the SailPoint. So I think you worked in the various projects, right? Okay, what they ask, what support do you provide regarding a vulnerability from the SailPoint? What is vulnerability? What is vulnerabilities?
Vulnerability is like a possible risk which may happen. So, to avoid any risks from happening or occurring, we will fix any loopholes if there is existing in the current system. So, that's where we can avoid the risks which are coming.
కరెక్ట్. సో, వల్నరబిలిటీ ఏంటంటే సిస్టమ్‌లో మనకేం చేస్తారంటే, నేను జాబ్‌లో జాయిన్ అయినప్పుడు వల్నరబిలిటీస్ నేను చూసానండి. ఎళ్ళినప్పుడు అసలు వల్నరబిలిటీస్ ఏంటి అనేది ఒక్క నిమిషంలో చెప్పి తర్వాత ఆన్సర్ చేస్తానండి. వల్నరబిలిటీస్ ఏంటంటే మన సిస్టమ్‌ని మొత్తం మనము అప్లికేషన్ సర్వర్స్, టామ్‌క్యాట్ సర్వర్ ఇవన్నీ ఉంటుంది కదా! హోల్ అప్లికేషన్ దే ఆర్ గోయింగ్ టు స్కాన్. దేర్ విల్ బి సమ్ సాఫ్ట్‌వేర్స్ దట్ ఈస్ గోయింగ్ టు స్కాన్ హోల్ application server, database server, and okay, Tomcat and our implementation is going to check entire system, and it is going to be give one report saying that suppose you are using older version of the Java, it is going to give that hey, you are using a older version according to the current standard. Okay, you need to have this kind of Java in your system, and you are using a old some old method HTTP approach, you have to fix, and they are going to give a report. This is okay. This vulnerability means this vulnerability. Okay, global format they are going to give one number also that is called CVV number. CVV number, and if you see if you type in the Google also CVE, okay, and that each vulnerability they are going to give one number. you can take that number and you can, they'll give advice the softwares also, what you have to do it and all. Along with me, you can also try. Now coming back to answer, how do you support? I answered, so sometimes vulnerabilities normally, it means that some of the softwares or else some of the patches I need to apply into the system. That is the reason security team is going to inform to the support saying that you got some vulnerabilities, you need to fix it. So when they give this kind of vulnerabilities, I do take that vulnerabilities. Along this report, they will give CVV number also. And you can take I take the CVE number and go to the Google and find out what software I need to download. That software I need to download, and what are the steps they suggested, that steps I need to apply in the lower environment. Once that evidence is that software and that fix is working fine, the same kind of softwares we are going to implement in the production environment with the change request, all the things. This is about vulnerabilities. It is very, every software engineer, especially cybersecurity engineer, they should know this terminology. And if you want more information, you can Google it or chat GPT. You can do that. Definitely will get a lot of information.
There are no such issues in identity now, right? We don't have to fix them.
Very good point. Actually, if you are handling a sale point, you need to sale identity IQ. You need to download CVV values and you need to implement. You need to download this thing. But in case of if you are using identity now, which is identity security cloud, SailPoint itself, they'll find out what are the vulnerabilities are there in your code, what are the things is that they will apply patches on your their tenants. So we need not to worry. We need not to take that headache. Next question. In production support, normally this point will come. How do you update an entitlement? How do you update entitlement descriptions? Okay, entitlement description. So I don't want to explain what is entitlement, what is the description. I wanted to talk to the point. Question to answer. So how do you update?
Open the entitlement, make the changes, save it.
No. Okay. Entitlement, we need to go to the entitlement catalog and open the entitlement. There you need to update the entitlement description. So in tree you have to say like this, right? We do get from the application owners, we get entitlement descriptions. Okay, with approved change request or else okay, service no ticket. With that service no ticket, once I got the service no ticket or something, and the description I will take it and I'll update into entitlement and save this thing. When you add these steps like change request, service now team, management, approved, these words, they will impress and they will think that you are a genuine employee. Okay? అర్థమైందా? అర్థమైందా? ఐ ఆన్సర్డ్. ఓకే, నువ్వు ఏమంటున్నా అంటే ఈ పదాలు చెప్తే నువ్వు ఎప్పుడైతే రియల్ టైం అనుకోవడానికి మనకు ఉపయోగపడుతుంది అనమాట. ఓకే, ఎప్పుడైతే చేంజ్ రిక్వెస్ట్ తీసుకుంటాము, అప్రూవల్ ప్రాసెస్ తీసుకుంటాము, ఇవన్నీ తీసుకుంటాము అనేది అది ఏంటంటే అప్రూవ్డ్ కరెక్ట్గా ప్రాసెస్ లేని వాళ్ళు అలా చేస్తారనమాట. మామూలుగా అయితే మంచి కంపెనీస్ అయితే మాత్రం సర్వీస్, మీ కంపెనీ మంచిదని కాదంటలేదు, సహజంగా చాలా కంపెనీస్ ఇది ఫాలో అవ్వాలని. ఎందుకంటే ప్రొడక్షన్లో నేను ఒక చిన్న మోడిఫికేషన్ డైరెక్ట్గా చేసేది అనమాట. ప్రొడక్షన్లో చేసినప్పుడు నా మీద ఎస్కలేట్ అయింది అనమాట. హౌ డూ యూ చేంజ్ వితౌట్ టేకింగ్ అప్రూవల్స్? సమ్ అప్లికేషన్ దే విల్ గో అండ్ డూ సంథింగ్ అండ్ ఆల్. So that is better if you are doing something in the production. You need to be very much careful. And once you get addicted about the environment, you can do your own things. If you are joined newly means we need to be very careful, all small things, very careful for doing a small things also. And this is one approach you told me. Second approach, entitlement description. I can export this whole entitlements, and I can update these entitlements. I can import this entitlement description and entitlement values into the sale point. Okay. And actually, when you have a bulk entitlements around, if you have more number of entitlements you need to update, if you do this, this is good. If you are only updating one or two, that time if you do this approach, okay, sometimes it will cause a problem also. When you are having one or two entitlements to update, better to do normal approach. So you can open the debug mode and you can do the entitlement upload. Next one is how do you update entitlements, right? You can export, you can go to this entitlement catalog. Okay, there is the export option is there. Okay, you can go to you can export all entitlements. And after that, you can update this entitlements. You can update all entitlement descriptions and import them, and automatically you can see latest entitlements. You can see latest entitlements. You can see our latest entitlements. You can see latest entitlements from the entitlement catalog. And not only this, when you are placing a request, that time you can see whatever the entitlements you have updated, you can see that. Next one is how do you get a request from customers? So how do you get a request from customers? This question you can answer when you are working really in the company. So in the companies and all, how you get it? We will be having a normal any company, and SailPoint, if any company using means that companies are going to be big companies only. Small companies, they won't use the SailPoint. Why? What is the reason? I will tell you in another video. So these kind of big companies, they do have a service now, Jira, like the tickets. So first users are going to reach out help desk or else L1 support. They will see, they will talk to them, and sometimes they will provide service now access to end users itself. They will raise a ticket. And if you are there in L1 support, L2 ticket, you will be getting a service now ticket. What is a service now ticket? If you want to get know more information, what is the service now and that, you can see in the chat GPT or YouTube, then you can find it. So you'll get a service now ticket. So in the ticket, you will be they are going to mention that what is the application. Okay, all the things they are going to mention. From there, you are going to take this information. You will be proceeding further to do your necessary things. Next, so how is the life cycle happening in the SailPoint IdentityIQ? That was the question they asked me. How is the life cycle? So how the users are going to come into the SailPoint? That was the question they asked me. How is the life cycle? Life cycling. Interviewers are different, right? They will be putting questions differently. This question is how is the life cycle happening in the SailPoint? So the answer what I did, and we get the source system. Okay, we have authoritative source systems. You can say that auth source systems are there. Authoritative source systems are there. And in the authoritative systems, it's going to be personal information of the employees, first name, last name, email ID. Once I loaded the data, okay, once I have aggregated the data into the SailPoint, so if you configure lifecycle events, if somebody configured in the project to contain the lifecycle event, so whenever you run the refresh task, that refresh task will contain the process events. Okay, when the refresh task will contain the process events. So the process event is going to trigger, the process events is going to trigger the life cycle event into the systems. The process events is going to run the life cycle events. Okay, this is the things. Next, okay, if you specify one is related to the workflows. This question is there. In the approval schema is there is approval, there is a variable called approval schema is there. That approval in the schema, if you specify none, what will be happening? If you specify in workflow, if you specify and okay, if you specify something like as a approval schema as a value none, what will happen? They ask me. I'm just trying to increase the size. Okay, if you specify and approval schema, what will be happen? They say that the answer is if you specify in approval schema as a none, it won't send for the approval process. So as I said, I want to explain more clearly to you, right? Suppose you place a request in the SailPoint. Through the manage access, you place a request. Normal process what it does, and the user has a raise a request. The request will go to manager. Okay, saying that this person has requested, and this is the entitlement he has requested. And in approval section, he will find this requested information. What is the entitlement he got it? He will be seeing it. His job is he has to approve that entitlement as a manager. He has to approve that entitlement or reject that entitlement. Correct? If we wanted to skip that process, suppose somebody requested some access, which is having a connected system, you want to skip it, there will not be having a approval process, then you can use this approach. When you specify in the workflow approval schema as a none, if you specify that time what it is, the workflow will go to the work that what you call that request will go to first to whatever the request you did it, that request will go to first to, it will not go for any approvals. Sorry, it will not, if you specify approval scheme as a none, it will not send for any approvals. Next question I'm going to talk. And what is the resource object in the custom object? What is the custom okay, what is the use of what is resource object in the custom object? Customization rule is there. In the customization rule, okay, what is the use of resource object? Actually, resource object is going to represent object, whatever the data you are aggregating. Each record is going to refer as a resource object. I want to talk more clearly on this thing. Okay. And what is that? Suppose you have a source system file. In the source system file, what you do, you will be having aggregation data. Correct? Aggregation. Sorry, you are going to aggregate, you will be having aggregation task. When you run this aggregation task, from the source system, whatever the source you have specified, that file or JDBC or any other connected data, that accounts information you are going to bring into the SailPoint, correct? So when you are bringing that information into the SailPoint, that time, okay, when you are bringing this information into the SailPoint, that time each record is going to represent as a one object. Each record is going to represent as a one resource object. You can see in the debug mode. Okay, and console mode, if you do connected debug command, you can see that in the console command, yeah, you can do this connected debug command is there, connector debug. I'm trying to explain more, not too much depth. If you are watching my video, you can go to there and you can watch that and you can practice that. In interview, you can do the better. That is my intention. I want at least one student to get a job. And that is the reason I'm trying to give more information. Connected debug is there and you can give application name. This you have to do in the connected debug command. You can give application name, and after that you are going to specify iterate, or if you do the iterate, and then you can see this object iterate. If you do, then you can see that object. If you are not able to do this thing, please let me know. I'll try to make one video on this thing. Next, how do you compile plan in the SailPoint? How do you compile the provisioning plan in the SailPoint? మన సేల్ పాయింట్లో ప్లాన్ ఉంటుంది కదా, ఆ ప్లాన్ని ఎలా కంపైల్ చేస్తామని అడుగుతున్నారు అనమాట. సో if you wanted to compile a plan, so what you can do, two things is there. There is a bit of code is a provisioner. Okay, provisioner, provisioner p is equal new provisioner is there, and you can create a provisioner, and the plan, okay, p dot compile you can give, and the plan whatever you created, that plan you are going to pass here, and it will compile. So once you compile, you can do the provision, okay, execute, then it will, what you will do, it will execute this. So a compiled plan it is going to execute. Okay, let me increase the size of this value. It is going to compile other areas. So I ran this thing and I got executed. And what is a plan? If you have a question, we'll discuss later. But plan contains what is the identity. I have explained about this point. So I said provisioner plan is equal to P is provisioner. Okay, provisioner P is equal to, and provisioner P is equal to P. Provisioner P is equal to P. Sorry, there I am. I got some distractions here. Okay, this thing provisioner. Okay. So I'm okay. Provisioner P is equal. Provisioner P is equal new provisioner I mentioned, and I have passed this plan. And once I pass this plan and compile, and it is going to compile this way. And you can also see that you have created a plan. That plan you can send it to the plan whatever you created. That plan you can send it to LCM provisioning workflow also. That guy is going to compile LCM provisioning workflow is there. And if you pass that plan to the LCM provisioning, it will compile. That is one question. And every project normally 2 US servers and 2 task servers are present. Normally 2 US servers and 2 task servers will be present. What is the US servers and task servers? There is one question is there. You can ask me definitely. I want to talk one interview. What questions asked? And I'm explaining here. So every company, but still I wanted to explain about what is a US server and task server. US servers is when users are trying to see their access request, track request, that kind of request they placed it from their GUI. That kind of request will come to the US servers. Somebody ran for the aggregation task. That time that kind of request will come to the task servers. Okay. That is the major difference. The US servers will be there, task servers are there. 2 US servers, 2 task servers are there. You can say that. I have connected medium size of applications, and there I have seen the documentation. And you can pretty well you can say the 2 task servers and 2 US servers only there. You can explain about this thing. How do you see the logs? How do you see the logs? So answer is that how do you see the logs? Okay, logs normally what happen in SailPoint logs. In SailPoint logs will be there. SailPoint logs is there. In the SailPoint, there are 2 kinds of logs is there. One is the Tomcat logs is there. One is a Tomcat log is there. Tomcat normally it is a console command. Okay, Catalina that will be there. Catalina that out like this is there, and there will be SailPoint log also there. So this log name, the format how you define that, that based on that the name will be there. So while I was explaining this thing, how I explain, and I told that first I am going to see that log4j2.property file. There I'll find the log name.